Hola, ¿qué tal? Buenos días, estudiantes, ¿cómo están? Saludos, hola. Estamos en el capítulo 3, terminando el capítulo 3. ¿Y qué necesitamos trabajar en el capítulo 3? Necesitamos, ¿verdad? Necesitamos trabajar con, número 1, los adjetivos posesivos, possessive adjectives. And the good news is that you already know some of them. For example, mi libro, mi amigo, mi profesor, profesora, ¿verdad? Me. When I have a possession of more than one item, instead of mi libro, we say mis libros. Then everything becomes plural. You have to make sure that you keep the agreement, okay? Mis libros, tus libros, ¿verdad? And then nuestros libros, our books. So this is the most important aspect in this topic, okay? To keep the agreement. Remember, the possessive adjective has to agree with the possessor, okay? Who is the owner? I am, so I'm going to use me or mis. Who is the possessor? You. Then I have to use tú or tus. Um, if the possessor is Maria, Pedro, or usted, then I'm, I'm going to use su or sus libros. But pay attention, it could be confusing because I have two possible possessors. And if we add the plural, we are going to keep using, for example, let's say, ellos, ellas, y ustedes, the plural of the possessor, ellos, ellas, y ustedes, then the possessive adjective is going to be the same one. For singular, it's going to be su, and for plural, it's going to be sus. So then at the end, I have 6 possibilities, okay, for ownership. And then I have to make sure that it's clear, okay, what I'm here. For example, if I'm talking about Maria's book, then I'm going to say el libro de María at the beginning. So you know that we're talking about Maria's book. Once it's already known, okay, that we're talking about Maria's book, then we can keep using su libro, because both of us know that the reference here is Maria's book, and Maria is the owner. Okay, su libro es rojo, su libro es grande, su libro es pequeño, su libro es bonito. You see, let's say that we're talking about Maria, Pedro, and Jaime's book. Okay, now we have 3 owners. Okay, so, and it's one book. El libro de María, Pedro, y Jaime. Okay, so now I have to mention the possessor to help the person who is listening to me, to help him or her in terms of understanding what I'm trying to say. Okay, um, so that's about possessive adjectives. Okay, mis amigos, tus amigos, nuestros amigos, su amigo. The second topic is about more verbs. We already learned AR verbs, and you should be acquainted with trabajar, viajar, tomar, estudiar, y hablar. Okay? Now, we're going to add ER, and if you know ER, you are ready for IR. So we are going to introduce both of them, ER and IR. Okay? So verbs that you should know. Comer, ¿verdad? To eat. Beber, to drink. Deber, when you must do something. And pay attention. When you must do something, that something has to be completed. That idea, what is something? Okay? You should, boom, work. You should eat. You should drink. So, deber then has to be used along with another verb. Okay? The verb is going to act as main verb, and the second one is going to remain in the infinitive form, just to complete the idea. Okay? Leer, to read, see? And finally, comprender, to understand. So those are the five verbs that we should know. Beber, comer, deber, leer y comprender. Okay? And also the IR verbs that you should be acquainted with this for this week is vivir. Now we can start using yo vivo en Nueva York. Okay? Before we were learning yo soy because we were talking about origin. Now we are going to be talking about where do we live. Well, yo vivo en Nueva York. Tú vives en Nueva York. Escribir, describir. If you know escribir, believe me, you know describir. Asistir, okay, to attend to a place. And then decidir, to decide. Okay, so those are the ones that are important to memorize. Be acquainted with questions. ¿Comes en un restaurante? Do you eat, verdad? ¿Escribes mucho en tus clases? ¿Lees todos los días? Now we're asking yes or no questions. Okay. ¿Asistes a clase? Sí. Remember, these are yes or no questions. Sí, no. And then you should give me the statement. Sí, yo como en un restaurante. O no, yo no como en un restaurante. And then I added some structures that are pretty similar to the verb structure, and they are related to AR conjugations. Those are, well, one is desear, which is AR, and then deber, okay? So, desear, when you wish, when you want something to take place, to happen. Yo deseo comer pizza, yo deseo estudiar, yo deseo trabajar, yo deseo no trabajar, ¿verdad? Yo no deseo trabajar. Um, and then at the end, we are going to be exploring in more details the verb tener. You already know some details about tener. You know how to use tengo and then the tienes. ¿Cuántos años tienes? Now we're going to expand that. Nosotros tenemos, ustedes tienen. Okay. ¿Tienes un lápiz? ¿Tienes un libro? ¿Tienes una clase? Sí, tengo una clase a las 10. Okay? And the good news is that if you know how to conjugate tener, you know how to conjugate the verb venir, which is to come. Yo vengo a la clase. ¿Tú vienes a la clase? Sí, yo vengo a la clase. ¿A qué hora vienes? At what time do you come? ¿A qué hora vienes? So be acquainted with the questions. ¿Con quién vienes? ¿A dónde vienes? ¿Cuándo vienes? ¿Sí? And that's it for this week. Okay, jóvenes. Hasta luego. If you have questions, remember we have the office hours on Fridays. Also, the tutoring center, so you can work online with a tutor, or you can email me, and then we can set up a good time for both of us. Okay. Bien, hasta luego. Chao.